On Wednesday morning, they should publish. I do this huge hodgepodge of just stats, trends, nuggets. I've done it. I've done this, I think, close to 15 years. A lot of the stuff I just update yearly and try and add some new stuff here as well. I'm just going to give you a few here as we get out the door, and then be sure to look for it. If you think it helps you make your bracket all the better, by all means. I can't promise that it will, but here's a few things about the tournament as we get ready for everything to get going. This is the 87th tournament. If you are curious, there have been 3,770 tournament games played in the event's history. The best teams that don't have a national title with good seeds this season: Houston, Purdue, Iowa State, Gonzaga, and Illinois. 0 national titles, but they have the best seeds here. Duke is a 1 seed for the 16th time. Carolina has the most with 18. Kentucky, it's the 64th tournament, has the most of any school in history. Duke has 16 wins against the field. That's the most of any, but Kentucky has the most games against the field. Kentucky played 19 tournament teams this season. Remember that Week 6 AP poll, GP? Want a reminder of who was in the top 12 of the Week 6?
Yeah, why not?
Every year since 2004, a team in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP top 25 went on to win the national title. This is from 12-1 back then. Alabama, Louisville, BYU, Michigan State, Gonzaga, Houston, Purdue, UConn, Iowa State, Duke, Michigan. In Week 6, the number 1 team in the country was Arizona. So one of those 12 teams will win the national title.
I agree.
This is a bit of an infamous stat at this point. No team has ever lost its first conference tournament game and won a national championship. That would seemingly eliminate these teams with top 4 seeds. Illinois, Michigan State, Nebraska, and Alabama were all one and done in their respective league tournaments. Keep an eye on that. What else can I give you here? Idaho has the longest drought that has snapped. Last was in the field in 36 years ago. Arizona has the best neutral court and road combined record of any team in the tournament, 16-1. Alabama, for the second straight year, faced the fewest quad 4 teams. It only had 2 a year ago, only has 2 this year. Coaches with top 4 seeds not to have yet made a Final Four: Tommy Lloyd, TJ Otzelberger, Brad Underwood, Ryan Odom, and Fred Hoiberg. Over under 1.5 coaches make the Final Four from that group, GP.
Give me the list one more time.
Otzelberger, Underwood, Odom, Hoiberg.
Would you put a number at 1.5?
1.5.
Give it to me again, the list.
These are coaches at a top 4 seed that
have never been
as a head coach. I'm just reminding the audience.
Yeah, Tommy Lloyd.
Lloyd, Otzelberger, Underwood, Odom, Hoiberg.
Under 1.5.
My bracket has over. I've got Arizona and Iowa State there, but we'll see. I think the smart play is probably under, but we'll see.
I will say that on a similar note, one of the things that came up on HQ was, I want to make sure I get it right. Every it's X number of the past X national champions, whatever the number is, it's pretty large. Either won a conference regular season title or a conference tournament title before winning the national championship. And so I was asked, like, could you see a team doing, breaking that trend? And the obvious one's Houston. Didn't win the regular season Big 12 title, didn't win the Big 12 tournament, but is actually my pick to win the national championship. And I think that's one of the trends that's going to go to the wayside, because in these big bloated conferences, you're going to have legitimate national championship contenders almost annually that don't win their conference championship or their conference tournament. Because, like, why didn't Houston do it? Because Arizona did.
Yeah.
Right. And you could, both of those teams can win a national championship. And if one of them sweeps the 2 trophies, well, then you're going to have the other fall into this category. The other one that came up, X amount of the past X national champions had been to a Final Four previously at some point in the history of the program before it actually won a national championship. And that's another one that I just don't think matters that much anymore, because look at Indiana football. If you got the right coach and you got the right resources and you're in Final Four, you can build this thing almost anywhere. And so I care less about program history today than I've ever cared. And it's because of Indiana football and what Indiana football proves you can do in college athletics these days, which is build something great anywhere at the Power 4 level, pretty much, regardless of what's been built there before.
To that point, Golden hadn't won a tournament game, and then he won the
There you
title.
go.
I think that's true of Hurley, or maybe he had won one, and then he won the title. I'll give you a couple more. We promised Josh he could get his final 4 picks on the show. We're almost done here. Only 3 years ever. As you're doing your bracket and you're trying to finish it out, just know this. Since we went to 64 teams in 85, the only years in which the ones, the twos, the threes, and the fours all won in the first round, there wasn't a single upset in those lines, 2007, 2017, and last year. So could we have a repeat? Sure, maybe. And there's actually been a lot of data out there. I'm going to reference a couple things that I saw here. David Purdom, who covers gambling and betting for ESPN, all 5 seeds are at least 8-point favorites over 12s for the first time ever. The average spread for the 4-13s is the largest ever. Average spread for the 3-14s is the largest ever. All 2 seeds are all 20-point favorites for the first time ever. And that makes sense with the portal and what we've seen here. Matthew Winnick does good stuff with Basketball in Review. I'll said all 5 seeds are power conference teams in Ken Palm's top 25. All 12s are mid-major teams in the top 100. And this year, if you were a top 25 team and you played a mid-major in the top 100, 12-0. Average margin plus 19 in those. So we'll see. We need the bracket gods to throw some lightning bolts here. Like, I need to see a shocker or two. I think we may have something if we get to this again with the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s all making it to Saturday and Sunday. History says that doesn't happen, but we are now in a new era. Let's just keep that in mind there. Just a couple more here for you, GP. I'm seeing what I want to give you here. Got a lot of good ones, and a lot of this stuff will obviously be on the site, but I know a lot of people taking their college basketball content through podcast form and aren't necessarily going to read it. Auburn this year, 38th at Ken Palm, the best team not to get in. Miami, 93rd, the lowest ever, obviously, to make it in, period. A top 3 seed has won the national title in 24 of the last 26 tournaments. The 2 exceptions are both Connecticut in 14 and in 2023 when UConn was a 4 and it won it. In 12 of the past 14 tournaments, a 7 seed or worse has cracked the Elite 8. Do we see that again this year? I don't know. We'll see. Houston now has the longest Sweet 16 streak, GP. 6 years in a row. It was Gonzaga. Obviously, that streak ended last year. Houston's gone 6 years in a row. We think it's going to be 7. No other school has longer than a 3-year Sweet 16 run. So I'll have plenty more than just this. If you want another good one, 40 teams in this year's tournament average at least 80 points. That's the most ever to enter a tournament. The previous record in 1989, 37 of the then 64 teams averaged at least 80. It's incredible stuff. BYU in the tournament for the 33rd time. It has more tournament appearances than any other school without making a Final Four. If this stuff gets your juices flowing and filling out the bracket, check CBS Sports early in the morning, and we'll have a story up there that you can just dive in and just swim around in this stuff and help you make your picks.